Hi, it's Deb James, Holistic Dementia Care Specialist. And again, apologies for being late. I am. Technology is not my friend these days, but anyway. You make the best plans and hey, you go with what's happening. But anyway, that's what it's like being a caregiver for a person with dementia or cognitive decline. You have to pivot, so I'm pivoting. And I may be changing the time for these conversations to 11 o'clock rather than 10:30. For whatever reason, 10:30 and me and the software don't work. But that's not your concern. We're here to talk about family today. Family, family, family. Can't get rid of them. They're with you. They're yours. And unfortunately, there can be conflicts with family. But what I want to talk about today is how family influences your decision making, how it influences how you want to care for your loved one with dementia. I'm sure everyone has that family member, that one family member. Could be your auntie, could be a cousin, could be a sibling. There's that one person that always has the perfect advice for you. And they're going to give you that advice, whether you ask for it or not. I'm sure you've experienced this. I've experienced it. I'm sure everyone at some point in your life has experienced it. People want to help you. Family wants to help you. Unfortunately, family does not always know the best way to help you. And you, as the primary caregiver, have to remember boundaries. It's nice to get information from people. It's nice to get recommendations. But ultimately, you are the caregiver for your loved one with dementia, and you need to make decisions based on your situation. Whatever the environment is, whatever the care setting is, you make the ultimate decisions. I was speaking to someone earlier, and they mentioned that they have a family member that delights in causing friction amongst family members. You've been there, done that. Oh my goodness. And this person said that when the family member that kind of manipulates people and sets people against each other is not there, the situation is much clearer. There aren't as many conflicts. There aren't as many disagreements. There aren't as many harsh words. There aren't as many bad feelings. So first and foremost, if there is a family member that delights in just causing chaos, you need to recognize that. You need to recognize that and recognize the signs that the person is creating chaos. Some of those signs can be they talk to one family member and mention something, and then they talk to another family member, mention something different. But whatever they mention is something that they know those family members are going to check with each other and see if the information is the same. And when they find out the information is not the same, then there's conflict. Whether there needs to be or not, there's conflict. Now, conflict and disagreements are two different things. Disagreements are you don't agree with someone, you respect their opinion, but you don't agree with them and you have your own opinion, and you have the right to have that opinion. And you just agree to disagree. Conflict is literally chaos. I mean, it is. Conflict is chaos. When you think about conflict, think about a war situation. You have two parties battling against each other. And the purpose is to make one party yield to the other party's decisions or actions or outcomes. It's said that there are no winners in war. But with conflict, it is an ongoing competition between two parties. And that is something that is not easily resolved. And it's something that, when it is resolved, usually results in one party feeling some level of resentment against the other party. That's conflict. You don't want that. Disagreements, okay, they're going to happen. But you do not want conflict, because conflict is ongoing. There are always bad feelings after the conflict is believed to be resolved. And those bad feelings can come up in a future date and just come out of nowhere. But it's because the party that feels resentment and feels wronged, that is just in their mind constantly. Not necessarily consciously, but subconsciously, that resentment is there. And as disagreements come up within the family, that resentment is going to come to the front. So a disagreement can trigger the feelings that the party that feels resentment had. And regardless of whether those feelings or whether that resentment has anything to do with the current conversation or the current disagreement, it will factor in. It will factor in. And oftentimes, the party that's not resentful will wonder, where did that come from? How did that happen? That you're bringing up something that has nothing to do with anything that we're talking about now. But that's what happens with unresolved feelings of resentment with conflict. And that's why you don't want conflict. So that is one way that a family member can cause issues. Excuse me. Another way is for a family member to tell someone else in the family an untruth about someone in the family. Now, I'm not talking, you know, telling a family member that, so and so failed a class. That's very minor. That's nothing. Whether they failed it or not doesn't matter. But if a family member tells another family member that, let's say, someone in the family said something bad about them, doesn't have to be true, but that seed gets planted. And of course, most people will go to whoever allegedly said that bad thing, and confront them with it. Now, the person who is being made the bad guy, their response to that confrontation can be, okay, I'm not sure where you heard this from, but it's not true. I wouldn't have said that, and I don't understand why this is coming up now. So again, they've sown the seeds of conflict, because that trusted family member that put that little word in their ear, they're assuming that that family member has their best interests at heart. They're not going to consider the fact that possibly this person has other motives. And so again, you have conflict. So if you're the person being given the false information, you can handle it by just reacting and getting angry and going to the other person, or refusing to have anything to do with the other person in the future. Or you can ask yourself, why am I being told this? What is the added value in being told this information? And you can start reflecting on that to determine whether or not it is a logical response or a logical statement that the person made or not. The other thing you can also do is just ignore it. Let it go. Don't bring it up to anyone else, and just, leave it alone. You don't have to respond. You don't have to react. You can say, okay, thank you for telling me, but whatever they said, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to me. If that's how they feel, fine. You have to kind of do that Zen thing. Think about, is it worth my calm and serenity to engage in this information, to take this information in and view it as gospel? We all have choices. So another way that someone can cause chaos and conflict is by, for lack of a better term, guilt tripping. That is a very, very common way for a family member to sow seeds of conflict. Inevitably, it starts with something along the lines of, well, so and so, they did this for me, and yada yada, and I just don't understand why you can't do the same. Sowing the seeds of guilt. Example. Your sister takes me out to dinner once a week. It's very nice. She spends time with me. But I can't remember the last time you took me out to eat. Do you not love me? Do you not care about me? Am I a burden to you? That's a real thing. It is. And you, being the recipient of that guilt trip, have several ways of answering. You can just, again, you can react and become defensive and say why you can't do whatever that the sibling does. Being reactive and defensive never ends well. But what you can do is calmly and serenely explain, well, I understand that my sister is able to take you out for a meal, take you out for dinner once a week. And that's wonderful, and I'm glad you enjoy it. I do not have the same amount of free time. But if you would like to, we can make an arrangement for us to go out, maybe not once a week, maybe once a month, where it's just the two of us and we can go out. Typically, that will just take all the air out of the person doing the manipulating's balloon. How can you respond to that if you are trying to sow the seeds of conflict? How can you respond to that? But these types of things happen with family on a regular basis. You can have a family member that lives, hundreds, thousands of miles away. And you talk to them because you're looking for, not necessarily answers, but you're just looking for someone to listen to your concerns. Don't always want answers. You just want to voice those concerns. You want to vent. And it's okay. You're allowed to vent. But when that person that is nowhere near the situation, has no understanding of the situation of you caring for your loved one, they can make suggestions as if they know what's going on. They know what you need to do. Either based on past experience that they've had or someone they know has had. And they can say things to you which will make you question your ability to care for your loved one. And that's why I'm here, to help you deal with that. That's what I do. Because you know your situation. You know exactly what's going on. You are there. You are in it. And that's where boundaries come into play. And you need to, just kind of hold those boundaries. Again, you can say, well, thank you. I appreciate your advice. I'll think about it. Or you can say, I appreciate your advice, but that's not what I'm talking to you about. That's not why I'm calling you. That's not why I'm talking to you. It's because I just need someone to listen. But thank you. I appreciate your advice. whether you do or not, you still say, I appreciate your advice, and I'll consider it at a later date. And it's not necessarily that family members are trying to make your life more difficult. They're actually usually trying to help. Because everybody has an opinion. And family opinion is something that is hard to get away from. Bear in mind that, again, they're trying to be helpful, whether they are or not. They're trying to be helpful when they offer advice, because that's what you do. That's what you do for family. You help them out. You're there for them. You want to be someone that they can lean on for support. But remember, you're in the situation caring for your loved one. You're the person who knows what's going on. You're the person who knows what you've already tried with your loved one. You're the person that knows what works, what doesn't work at this point. Now, you may get a suggestion where it's like, hadn't thought about that, but don't immediately ignore or blow off what information someone's telling you. That is probably one of the hardest things to do when you're a caregiver for a loved one with dementia. I've had to deal with it. There have been times when I've been given advice from family members, and I'm just like, no. You're not here. You don't know what's going on. No, I don't know. Just no. And then I think about it. It's like, well, have I really tried that? Don't think I have. Well, then maybe I should consider it. Maybe I should consider it. Or at least try it out. If it works, fine. If it doesn't, that's fine too. You tried it. And that's what it's all about. So family, we love them. We love them. They have our best interests at heart. But sometimes they just don't get it. And that's okay. But family is family, and you have to deal with them. You can try to get away from them, but you can't. It doesn't happen. It doesn't work. So the best way of dealing with family is, one, know your own strengths. Know your own strengths. Two, remember your boundaries. Three, look for that family member that is manipulating and causing chaos. And four, breathe. Just breathe. Things will come up, but it's okay. You can get through this. That's why I provide my help for people caring for a loved one with dementia. I want you to feel empowered. I want you to know that you can successfully handle the situation, and that you will know when the situation is beyond your capabilities, what decisions to make and when to make them. So, if you'd like to know more, you can check out my website, angelichtouchhealthandwellness.net. There are resources available on the website. You can also go to my Instagram at deb.wellnessrn for you, where I have videos posted. But go to my website and sign up for my monthly love letter, my newsletter. That has a lot of information in it, and I think it's something you'll enjoy. So until next time, keep breathing, keep breathing, keep breathing. Trust yourself, and contact me for a 30-minute phone call, a free 30-minute phone call, and we can talk about your situation. Okay? All right, well, this is another episode of Dementia Care Conversations. I'm Deb James, Holistic Dementia Care Specialist, and I'll be in touch. Bye.